Hi, this is Krista at The Secret Yarnery. How did I start my own crochet group? I can't tell you how amazing it is to have a group of people to crochet with, and if it's something you're thinking of setting up in your own neighborhood, I'm just going to share how I started. In 2016, I rented half of a tent at a craft festival, I suppose, but it wasn't really a craft festival. It was more of like a shopping festival, but some people did crafts. So I shared a tent with Italian nuns, actually. They were doing tie-dyed fabrics and things like that, and I was doing yarn kits, actually. So I was doing these kits. These were my first two kits that I made. This one is for the hug shrug, same one that I'm wearing now. There is a tutorial for it on the channel. I'll put a link in the description box below. So it's just 3 balls of yarn and the pattern to do it. And I also did the infinity scarf with the 3 balls of yarn. So I made that kit as well. So you got the yarn and the hook and the instructions. And I think they were like $10 or something like that. Lots of people were interested in those as gifts and things like that, but lots of people were also like, oh, can you teach me how to crochet? So I hadn't thought about that before, but I made a sign-up sheet for the next day, and so people could leave their email address and telephone number, and then I had about 30-something people, 38 people sign up, and I just thought over a 2-day period, and I thought that was just people being polite. Because, at those festivals you go around and you're like, oh yeah, sure, but really you don't want to do it. It's just something you thought of at the time. But then somebody kept on contacting me, asking when the classes were starting, after the festival had finished, of course. And I was a bit surprised because I didn't think anyone was interested, but then I was like, sure, I guess I could make an email and send out an email inviting these people who had signed up to a class at a local coffee shop. And then at least I had done it. So I know there was about 2 people that were going to come. I knew 2 people were actually interested, which is Kavita from the Wicked West Nairobi and my other friend Litsa, who I didn't know but totally wanted to know. So I made a reservation at a coffee shop. I made a reservation for 6 because I wasn't sure, I didn't want to look like an idiot with the whole restaurant booked off and 2 people sitting there. And you still don't even know how many people are coming. And people say they're coming, but they're not coming, and people don't say anything, and then they show up, so who even knows? I booked a table for 6, and then 18 people showed up. We took over the entire coffee shop. The coffee shop was a bit mad at me for having such a big party in there. Other families were coming in for breakfast and things like that, and there was no space. We had the whole place. So everybody had coffee and breakfast and everything like that. It worked out really great. They loved us after they knew us, after they knew what we were doing. They loved us and they wanted us to come back every Saturday, which we did. And then I started doing that. So we did a pattern. I made a new pattern every week. And we started with 2 balls of yarn and a pattern for $10. And that was every Saturday. I thought it was going to be once a month, but everyone's like, oh no, I need it. I have to come back. We have to do it next Saturday. So then I was doing every Saturday, and then I also had people being like, I'm busy on Saturday. That's the time I spend with my family. Can we not do it during the week? So then I did on Mondays as well. So I was teaching 2 classes a week, and with usually 1 pattern a week, but then the Monday class morphed out, and then I was doing 2 patterns a week, which was great if you're not doing anything else. And then some of my students would come back the following Saturday, and they would be doing the exact same thing that they were doing in the last class, and they weren't ready to move on to the next project because they had forgotten what they were doing, and they wanted somebody, they had the pattern, but they didn't want to read the pattern. They wanted me to literally show them the stitches, which is fine. I get that. That's why you attend class, or group as it is now, but back then it was class. So then we started doing, I think the first video is for changing yarn at the end of a row on a particular project we were doing, and we put it on YouTube so that everybody could access it and keep progressing during the week. And then it morphed into having a pattern every week, a written pattern for the pattern, and a video to go along with it. So we did that for a little while. And then everybody, it took about a year, and then everybody was doing whatever they wanted to do. They knew their stitches, they knew how to read patterns, they knew how to follow a video. Everybody was kind of becoming more independent, so then I didn't have to do a specific pattern every week, and we could just kind of hang out, and then our group was formed because everyone was kind of doing their own thing. You bring what you're working on, hang out. And we also moved into the Yarnery at my home, so we have our own tea and washrooms and everything. We don't have breakfast as such, so we do miss that a little bit, but it's great to just be here with all the yarn and everything like that, and I don't have to haul a bunch of Rubbermaid totes to a coffee shop for people to browse for their projects. So that is how I started. So if I was advising you how you should start, think of renting one of those tables at a craft fair and even just having like a sign-up sheet and some of the projects you've worked on, some yarn, like make a cute little display with a sign-up sheet and just collect people's information and then send them an email after the event is over and pick a public place or wherever you want to meet. If you're lucky to have a yarnery in your house, that would also be great. And then people can just come and drop by. I did find it very good to meet in public, like in a coffee shop for the first year or so, because we did get a lot of other people seeing us crochet and being like, oh my gosh, I've totally wanted to do that for so long. And I'm so glad we found you. So it's kind of also like really good advertising to get started. So think about hosting them in public when you start out, because I think that really did help us grow as a group and get new students. Now I've kind of morphed. I'm not really teaching so many classes anymore. I'm more hanging out with you guys and hanging out with my crochet friends, which now we're just friends because I don't have to teach them anymore, they already know. So that's how I started. If you have any questions or you want to know anything more specific, leave it in the comments box below. I'm totally happy to help. I know my situation is probably a little different from yours, but the idea is there and the thought's there, and I'm sure we could make it work. So I'm sure you could make it work. So have a super great day, have a good week. Thanks for being part of our community. Like, subscribe, and share, and stay hooked. Hi, this is Krista at The Secret Yarnery. How did I start a crochet group? Hi, this is Krista at The Secret Yarnery. Do you want to know how I started my own crochet group? Hi, this is Krista at The Secret Yarnery. Okay, fine.